According to the latest statistics, each year more Americans are dying from drug overdoses than traffic crashes.
Drug overdoses killed an estimated 72,000 Americans last year.
America's opioid crisis is rampant, with an average of 115 opioid deaths each day.
The CDC found that more than 16 out of every 100,000 Americans died of a drug overdose in 2015, compared to just over 6 in 1999.
I believe I was 18 years old when I took my first drug. And then I didn't stop, until 7 years later.
We met in high school. I was the head of cheerleading and he was a football captain. I mean, we were top of our class. We were very popular. We didn't go to any bad part of town to start doing drugs. It came to us.
I was in a really bad car wreck. They did a surgery on my back and they started giving me pain pills. It was just a vicious cycle that led to one day they're like, hey man, we can't give them to you anymore. You have to go to a pain management. And there was like a 3-week gap in there.
I'm at work and I get a call and it's his employer and she's asking me if he's planning on coming to work today. And so I get to the house and I knock and no answer. Finally, I'm at the bathroom door, it's cracked open and I'm like, Josh, and I kind of open it slowly.
Oh, you're dope sick. I'm like, man, I've never even smoked weed. I've never done nothing. And they're like, it doesn't matter, an opiate's an opiate. So he's like, try this. And that was the beginning of the end.
There was this one day where I was walking down the street and I seen a body laying in the alley there. He had been dead and he had a needle still laying in his arm. And I was getting ready to call 911 and tell them, hey, there's somebody laying here. And this dude came out of the side of the alley and looked down at him and looked back up at me and looked down at him and grabbed the needle out of his arm and took off running. Because he needed a needle so bad so he wouldn't be sick, he took that needle and he ended up using it.
When I was really in the depths of my addiction, if I didn't have anything to do that day, I would take a shot. 5 or 10 minutes later, another shot. Sometimes I'd prepare 2 syringes so I could do them one after the other.
By the end of our addiction,
We spent $300-400 a day.
I would go to like a rent-to-own and buy a TV
And pawn it.
and then go straight to the pawn shop and pawn it.
He was sitting up. Just kind of crouched over. And I just screamed his name and I said, Josh! And I grabbed his shoulders and I just shook him. I tried to feel for a pulse and I didn't feel anything. So I called 911. And the next thing, they carry him out in a body bag.
If you don't try to get help, you're gonna die, you're gonna lose everything that you had, you're gonna lose everyone that you cared about, and you're not too cool, you're not too smart, you're not too tough, you're not too clever. It's happened to everybody.